Hi there, I'm Dave DeVoe, and welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to take a look at what our current Canadian real estate and Canadian business profit members have to look forward to landing in your mailbox very, very soon. This month's issue of Canadian Profits newsletter and our audio CD success interviews. So if you're a member, this is what you've got to look forward to. If you're not a member, you should be, and this is just going to be a little preview of what you're missing, and I'll show you how you can get on track with that. So let's take a look.
All right, so here we are inside the CanadianProfitsMembers.com website, and if you're an active Canadian Profits member, you know that you've got access to this, and if you haven't checked it out, please do. We sent you your username and password not that long ago. So we're going to take a look at Canadian real estate profits first. So we're in that section here. And again, remember you can just click on the image there to get the full screen image of this month's May's most recent newsletter. So this is very cool. Again, obviously we're going to be sending you this, the hard copy in the mail that's been sent out to you already, but this is a way for you to get access to this stuff immediately and just get started right away. So here's this month's issue of Canadian Real Estate Profits. We've got our front page cover, and there's a picture of myself with Dave Van Hoos, and I'm receiving the MVP All-Star Speaker Award from the event I attended in Tampa, Florida last month, and a few other pictures there. Let's take a look at the inside of this. So we've got 7 wealth attraction principles. Russell Westcott, very, very sharp investor, and also the VP of the Real Estate Investment Network. Flipping the page, we got an article from Mark Loeffler and Darren Weeks from Fast Track. Are you about to be scammed? So we've heard a lot of information about Ponzi schemes and whatnot going on in Canada and Alberta and Western Canada. It happens all over the place. So here's Darren's take on that and how to avoid getting ripped off. Myself with Rent to Own Riches, finding and qualifying top-notch clients. So in this article, I share my top 3 kinds of folks that I like to work with my rent-to-own real estate business, BC Rent to Buy, and why I love these people. So it's these are my ideal types of rent-to-own clients or tenant buyers. Joanne Beaton, managing your contractor. So if you're an active real estate investor, sooner or later you're going to have to contract somebody in there to come fix up your properties. Joanne's definitely got a lot of experience with that, so she's giving you her best ideas, tips, and tactics that can save you thousands of dollars when you're dealing with contractors. So fantastic information there. Paul Black there, speaking of tenants, how to check out your tenants. So if you're a new landlord, this is vitally important to know how to pre-screen and pre-qualify tenants before you get somebody in there who's just an absolute nightmare. So make sure you pay very close attention to this article. It can save you time and heartache, that's for sure. July Ono, where's the moolah? Okay, great article July wrote this month talking about attracting and working with investors. If anybody knows how to do that, it's definitely July. I believe she's up over 500 doors in her portfolio now, all working with investors, so she definitely knows what she's talking about there. Paul Hecht, Investment Wisdom. When is negative cash flow okay? Okay, that's a bit of a shocking title, but he makes a point for negative cash flow and when it makes sense. Barry McGuire, your real estate lawyer, an important resource. So again, how to find, work with, and attract the best legal beagle team that you can have for your real estate business. Deal Magnet Marketing, be on call 24/7, but not you. So again, this is talking about working with 24-hour pre-recorded messages and how you can just make that an automated thing so that you've got a 24-hour salesperson working for you for next to nothing each and every month. Real Estate My Way, Ken Beaton, cash flow may be king, but it isn't everything. It sounds like it's kind of along the lines of what Paul was talking about there. So again, 2 very astute investors talking about cash flow. And here Ken's talking about it just being one of the 7 profit centers of real estate investing. So talking about the other ones, we got some fun activities and fun stuff in there. And that's a good look at what's going on with Canadian Real Estate Profits, the newsletter this month. For our audio success interview this month for Canadian Real Estate Profits members, I did an interview recently with Brian Poulos from Poulos Investments. Do the real estate business on purpose. So I really enjoyed this interview with Brian. I enjoy all of my interviews, obviously, but really found this one interesting because Brian started his investment career focusing on student housing. So we talked quite a bit about that, the pros and cons of doing that, but then really got into talking about how Brian focuses on very specific niches for all of his properties. He has more multifamily units now, but each one of his buildings has a unique tenant characteristics that he's looking for. So he doesn't just rent to everybody and anybody. For each of his different buildings, depending on the location, the makeup of the building, he will focus on trying to attract specific kinds of tenants for those buildings and actually reject other folks that don't fit into that criteria. How does he do that? How does that help him? Well, it helps him get the exact kind of tenant that he wants, the best rental rates he can for those buildings, and just really makes his whole business run a lot smoother. So that was the real estate interview for this month. All right, so for our Canadian Business Profit members, you'll be seeing your newsletter as well. So again, we'll take a look at that. Click there to read. That brings it up to full screen. I love this thing. Wagner set this up. Okay, so this is this month's May's edition of Canadian Business Profits. My front page article is Business Growth Strategy, Cash or Sweat. So again, looking back to my bootstrapping days and how to get a business up and running if you don't have a heck of a lot of cash. Good old Troy White, our copywriting friend, talking about Facebook advertising, friend or foe. I've had good luck and I've had bad luck with Facebook advertising. It's definitely something that we are doing quite a bit of, and it can be very, very effective if you do it the right way. Even for your real estate business, which is what I've used for myself, as well as traditional brick and mortar stores. So brick and mortar and service business as well. So take a look at what Troy has to say about Facebook advertising this month. Good old eBay Larry, taking your business online. Good article there. Our friend Albert Koopman, New Leadership Perspective for Small Business. Dan, the man Locke, The Myth of Working Hard. I always love Dan's articles, love everybody's articles. But if there's anybody who epitomizes working and living on your own terms, it's definitely Dan, the man Locke. He uses virtual teams. He has multiple businesses going at the same time, all very, very successful, very profitable, and working from his home the way he wants to. Speaking of living life on your own terms, our good friend Michael McLean with The Hidden Paycheck. This is a very cool article if you have any employees working for you, how to make them appreciate you a little bit more there. So great article from Michael there. Market Informant, Brian Dar Santos, Hold It Steady. So again, our monthly shot in the arm from Brian about what's going on with the markets and the economy in general. Very, very valuable. Robin J. Elliott, The Power of Time in Business, How Not to Waste It. Randall Orser's 10 Startup Mistakes to Avoid. And Randall definitely knows about this because he's worked with small businesses, entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals for years and years and years. So he's seen these things over and over again, all the most common startup mistakes. So take a look at this if you're thinking about getting into business for yourself, what to avoid doing. If you're already in business for yourself, this is a great idea as well. You might recognize a couple of these things in your own business. Sales Success, Lori Routnask. Important Words in Sales, Part 3. So again, focusing on how to maximize your sales and your results. Business Wisdom with Pino, Entrepreneur or Business Person. So again, talking about how to maximize the value of your business if you want to sell it or systematize it. Lighter side, some fun stuff there. Good old Bob Molly, Improving Your Performance. What are your top 3? Neil Godden with Marketing Dangerously, Can You Be Trusted? And then the bits and pieces that didn't quite fit. All right, and for our business interview this month, I've interviewed Kevin Connell, the Human Lie Detector. Kevin was a member of the Glazer Kennedy Mastermind Group with me for a couple of years. That's where I got to know him. Very, very sharp man when it comes to screening for hiring purposes for your employees. Also applies to tenants for real estate business as well. So Kevin and I had a really good conversation all about that, how to screen out potential nightmare employees and tenants before you get tangled up with them. All right, so that's what's going on there. If you're a Diamond member, you can check out the Diamond member area and check out our last Diamond presentation, which is all about attracting investors. And that was a really good presentation I put on and had special guests July Ono, Russell Westcott, Ken Beaton, and Paul Blaquier, all sharing their best ideas, tips, and strategies on how to attract, entice, get, and keep investors on board for your business and or real estate investments. So that's what's all included in this month for Canadian Profits. If you're not currently a member, what are you waiting for? You should be. Check out CanadianProfitsMembers.com. Click on one of the tabs there to take a very low-cost test drive of the program. If you're not already a member, check it all out there. CanadianProfitsMembers.com. You can either choose to be part of Canadian Real Estate Profits or Canadian Business Profits. And if you're interested in really kicking it up to the next level, check out Canadian Diamond Member Profits area. So that's CanadianProfitsDiamond.com. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.
All right. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV and the little overview of what's going on with our Canadian Profits membership programs. And what's coming up? Well, we've got the Fast Track Weekend event, Financial Confidence in Uncertain Times. The first event is coming up May 26th and 27th in Calgary, Alberta. And the next event is going to be June 9th and 10th, I believe it is, in Edmonton. So check that out, fasttrackweekend.com. Fasttrackweekend.com. We have some phenomenal speakers there. Darren Weeks, Russ McAllister from MC Companies, Alan Goff, Big Bob Molly, myself, Dave Dubeau, Ken Beaton, a whole bunch of fantastic speakers, all focusing on how you can have financial confidence no matter what's going on with the economy. So make sure you check that out. The price is right. It's free. Can't get any better than that. Speaking of upcoming events, for us, for Canadian Profits, our next big event is happening in August. Let me check the dates. The 18th and 19th. It's the Rent to Own Profits Summit here in beautiful Kamloops, BC. If you're already one of our Rent to Own Cash on Demand students, this is free for you and a guest. If you aren't currently involved in rent-to-own real estate investing, haven't joined on as one of or enrolled as one of our students, you can find out all about this phenomenal event at r2oprofitssummit.com. r2oprofitssummit.com. Have a great week. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.